This is the Begin Within podcast, where we believe real, lasting health and fitness requires you to start inside before you work out. I'm your host, Nate Slegger, and I'm here to show you behind the scenes of fitness. You already know exercise is good for you, but what about all the other things in life that affect your fitness? If you're looking for extra motivation to get started or to make sure you keep going, this is the place for you.
Produced by BeginWithin.fit.
Improving health is about so much more than just losing weight. But I realize weight loss might be the goal that brought you here to the Begin Within podcast. That's why I wrote my latest book, 5 Ways to Stop Wrecking Weight Loss, to reveal the 5 areas that I see are most overlooked by the people that I work with who want to lose weight. Each one of the chapters in this free ebook describes that specific area that you need to focus on to improve your health and get great permanent results. And it also links back here to episodes of the podcast where we've had experts on the show talking about that specific area, so you can benefit from those previous episodes while you're learning about how to maximize the results that you're after. You can get your free copy of my ebook, 5 Ways to Stop Wrecking Weight Loss, by going to beginwithin.fit/ebook or going to the link in the show notes. Now is a great time to do a little multitasking while you're listening to the start of this episode. Head over to grab your free copy of my book, 5 Ways to Stop Wrecking Weight Loss. If you missed the URL, here it is again, beginwithin.fit/ebook, or there is a link in the show notes for you. Grab your copy, and now let's get on with today's episode. I've got Dustin Bogle on the show today. He's a gym owner, and he and his team are in a war against obesity. And of course, that's something that we talk about a lot here, is just the idea of improving health and focusing on that target of weight loss as one of the ways that you can measure your progress in the process of improving your health. So what he has to share today, what Dustin has to share, I think is going to be so valuable to us in terms of the concepts that he discusses that has helped him to get better results for his clients. And so I want to focus on the importance of mom. Okay, so if you're listening, you're a mom. I don't know if I'm going to say pay close attention or if I'm going to say sorry, because I hope that this doesn't add more pressure to you. But what it's going to do is going to help you to see the value of your role, the influence that you have over your family, and that's a beautiful thing when you do the right thing with that influence. So listen closely to what he has to say about that. And then he is going to talk as well about the culture at home. The culture in his home, something that he also tries to do with his team at work. But I think it's such a good thing. You know, I believe that all of us here, if you're listening to the Begin Within Health Show, then you are a leader and you have some influence over others. And this interview is going to give you some encouragement, I hope, to use that influence in a very positive way. Here's my interview with Dustin Bogle.
Back in high school, I was an overweight teenager. I was 260 pounds, so not far from being 300. And I was very introverted, and I had low confidence, and I was shy. And so I would often be off in the corner at the outdoor quad, just kind of sitting by myself, reading magazines and just hanging out and just like not really having a whole lot of friends. But I had a couple of people who would kind of like, speak to me a little bit during classes, but not a whole lot of friends that I hung out with outside of the gym, outside of school. But one day, a friend that did chat with me here and there, he was a really fit guy. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to go to the gym." And he could kind of sense I needed some friendship and mentorship. He's like, I'm gonna go to the gym after school. Do you want to come with me? I'm happy to, have you come in and join me. And I was like, this like totally like buff dudes that want to hang out with me, this fat kid. Like, so I was like, cool, let's do it. And I'll tell you, Nate, like that's one of those moments we all have them where this giant decision led you into a completely different path. There could have been two forks in the road. Dustin could have
Yeah.
kept fat and could have kept making bad decisions, and who know where he'd be today. But because that gentleman entered my life and invited me to the gym, how crazy and wild of a different ride my life went on. And so there's many of those I can think back on, but that was the first one that was a big one. And so he took me to the gym. We did a standard meathead workout, chest and biceps, baby. We're
On
pressing and we're
Monday. Okay.
doing, yeah. And so I never done this stuff. So I'm doing it. I'm like looking at the pump in the mirror and I'm like, this is amazing. So mind you, I'm like 16, 17. My hormones are raging. I'm like, this feels incredible. And he said, if you like this, man, we could do this every day after school. And I said, all right, I'm in. I went for 6 months and I proceeded to lose 60 pounds of body fat. I went from 260 to 200 pounds, leaned out, got visible abs. I tell people those are pretty crazy results. Don't expect that. I was a young male teenager with
Yeah.
hormones raging. That was pretty wild results. And so I say to myself at that moment, I want to give this amazing gift I give myself. I'm standing a little bit taller. I'm wearing tighter clothes now. I'm proud. My arms are filling out my shirt. And I'm like, I want to give this gift to other people. I'm going to become a certified trainer. And that was 20 years ago. And I decided that I'm going to help people transform their health. And later on, I learned that there's other things that come with it too: mindset, confidence, self-talk. But at the beginning, I was just like, I want to just get people to lose fat
Yeah.
off their body. And that was a very simple introduction. Fast forward from there, opened my first gym, got a great culture going, great community, got clients, great results. So then I decided to duplicate it and I got a little too aggressive. I opened 6 gyms in 6 years. And so anybody that has told you they kind of pressed on the gas pedal a little too hard will tell you their mistakes and their learning lesson. And that definitely period of my life was full of them. But the big one was I didn't know the value of leadership and culture, that I was the magic at location one. I was on site every day. I was making sure that the quality was there from when we open doors to when we close them. And when I go to location two, now I'm kind of 50-50. And then we go to location three, and now I'm really spread thin. Well, then you go to 6 gyms, and I'm almost not present at all of them.
Mm.
And so the leadership gets diluted, the standards gets diluted, and that's on me. I didn't build systems. I didn't get leaders in place. I didn't have an idea of how this is going to work. I just am kind of like a crazy action taking machine. And so, again, got humbled by that. But I would say to the listeners that are like interested in their health and their fitness, if you are from a business background, you've worked for a high achieving business driver, or you are a business owner, you can create, like a lot of stress in your body. And
Mm.
so that is a huge thing you want to be mindful of when you're trying to be healthy and fit. It shows up in many ways. And I think of our health like a chain, and the link that breaks is different in everybody. Some people get cancer. Some people get, other types of diseases. You just don't want to stress out that chain and find out what yours is going to be, what
Mm.
your weak link will be. So that's why, again, I love what your show's about: practicing self-care, taking
Yeah.
care of yourself, and doing the things you can to prevent the most amount of diseases possible.
Got it. So stress is literally just in that illustration, that metaphor, it's just putting stress on the whole system. And if you could keep that stress lower, then you may not find out that what that weakest link is, as long as you're taking good care of yourself. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that metaphor a lot.
there's a certain amount of stress that a chain is designed to withstand,
Yeah.
and then there's a breaking amount where it cannot hold it together, and one of the links break. And so essentially, like, stress is part of our life. It's not something people go pendulum the other way. Like, I'm going to eliminate all stress. I'm going to go on a retreat and be a monk and like live in a mountain, and I'm not going to speak, or I'm going to go into a darkness cave. And like, no. You went too far the opposite. Like, the real answer is, how do you learn to live a healthy lifestyle in the face of stress?
Mm.
That's the true challenge that we all have to learn to, balance.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. And maybe we would go down that path in just a minute. Could we go back? I want to capitalize on leadership a little bit. I mean, you mentioned
Sure.
that it was so important in your business. I know, behind you on the shelf, you have the lead the way phrase. And
Yes.
I have to, like, I'm thinking back to even that gentleman that invited you to work out, like having someone lead the way was pivotal in your journey. For people that are trying to make health changes, um, improve their health, start working out, whatever it is, eat their veggies. How important do you feel like leadership is in them being able to find their way?
Very. In fact, that's why we went with the brand name, Lead the Way Fitness. That's the name of my gyms. I have 2 locations in Southern California, and then we basically have learned that leadership is not just reserved for people in the business space. It does go to the families. It does evolve. It does show up in coaching for fitness and fat loss. And our target market in our facilities is moms. We firmly believe that mom is the nucleus of the household and that she holds everything together. And she's also the Trojan horse that if we can get her healthy and fit, she goes into the household and then everybody gets healthy and fit. The dad, the kids, everybody. And they all came from her. So we know we really want to turn the tide on this war against obesity. Moms are the people that we're going to go for to make that happen. And
Mm,
I'm sure you track stats in our industry. We are on track as a country to be 50% obese by the year 2030. And the world, the global population is on track to be obese by 50% by the year 2035. So we're leading the way in a bad way, right? Like we're the
mm,
first ones to hit that metric in the US, and that is not something we should be proud of. So we, as fitness professionals and gym owners and coaches, are the ones literally on the front lines. I said, this is the war on our soil, is the war for our health. We will have other countries surpass us if we are becoming the most lazy and the most, like dependent and the most, unhealthy, and we're dying of young, at a young ages because of preventable diseases.
mm,
You watch the other countries, surpass us in terms of status and growth. And
mm,
so essentially, moms, I know, again, they lead the way for their families. They create generational health. We talk about generational wealth. Well, if they get their kids healthy, guess what? They'll raise their kids to be healthy and they'll raise their kids. And it all starts with the moms of today. So that's why we're really passionate about helping her, because we know the ripple effects that will come from it.
I love it. Oh, that makes so much sense. I love the Trojan horse comparison. What as mom makes those changes, what do you and your team see as far as how her family starts to follow along? The impact that she has, I guess I'm thinking more in terms of like what are the actual, is it because she's now making healthy food? Is it that kids they want to work out too? How does it initially start to show up at home for her?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that fitness, just like it happened to me, is contagious, that you just want everyone to have it. So, like, when we think about something, we want to like refer our friends to. You got to go to this restaurant. What I'm really telling you is I want you to have the same experience as me. And if I say you got to see this movie, I want you to go on the same emotional roller coaster as me. I literally want you to feel what I felt. That's what I'm saying when I refer you to a business. So when I refer you to get healthy, what I'm not telling you I want you to do 10 push-ups and I want you to eat chicken and I want you to, have a protein shake. I want you to feel how I feel. That's what I'm really saying when I'm trying to get you.
Mm-hmm.
And so people get healthy and fit. Do you notice they're always the most positive? They're always the most infectious and contagious and people you want to hang out with. And then who are people who are usually like down and negative and miserable? Like they're not people who work out. Again, I'm not saying that they're all overweight, but they're typically grumpy and upset because they're not releasing it out in a physical way, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why, again, coaches tend to be so like attractive to hang around, not anything to do with looks. Like they're just drawn to them. They're magnetic because they have this amazing energy. And so if mom gets this contagious energy, people, she doesn't even have to be out there selling your gym. People just say, what are you doing? Something's different about you. What are you doing exactly? So you got to come with me. Let's go on a walk. Like come in, let's meal prep together. I'm like, come on, go with me to the gym. Let's work out. And she'll just start saying it because that's what she's saying to you. I want you to feel how I feel. And so, yeah, to kind of break it down, it's yes, she's going to force the kids to eat healthier because she's not going to cook 2 meals for everybody. She is going to say, turn off those screens. Let's go out for a family walk. We're going to the gym. she will just start doing things that will change the habits in the household, and that will just magically lead to fat loss. We see it
Mm,
many times over with the clients we work with.
I like that. I like the feeling, right?
Yeah,
Not just like I learned how to eat, like broccoli. Now you got to do it too. But
yeah,
how can I help my family to feel this way?
exactly.
Such an awesome mission. I love it. As you're talking, Dustin, I can't help but notice all the books behind you, and I'm curious. Do you mind me asking, like, what role do you feel like education and being exposed to the leadership of others has influenced you? And I have to imagine that you encourage your team to have bookshelves full of books as well, and probably your clients that are getting these great results. Like, what role does that education play in having a path to follow?
It's huge. And this is not even all my Audible books. Like I got another 100 books on Audible. These are just physical copies I own. But you're right. It's funny. I'm just chuckling. You're saying that. I was like, he's pointing out something that I just explained that we all do. We're very infectious with things we do naturally. I have a book, or sorry, a bookshelf at our gym where I just put good self-development books I want my clients to read. Atomic Habits, 5 Levels of Leadership. These are all there, and they can check them out at any time. And then, yes, I do buy books for my team. I just order them a great book. So it's funny that you're right. Like we just lead from the front. What we are doing, we naturally tell other people to do. And then they read on us that it's honest and it's authentic because we went first. It's very easy. I'm a parent, I'm a business owner, as a coach, to say, do as I say, not as I do. And they say, no, like if you think it's so great, you'd be doing it too. I think that leadership is caught, not taught. And so people, they can say, do this, I'm trying to teach you, but they're really catching on to what they see you do. And that's why I think, again, moms will change households, is because they see you put yourself first. Go to the gym. Hey kids, be on good behavior. I'm gonna be gone. I'm going to the gym. They see that. They see you chopping vegetables. They see you putting things in your grocery cart. They see the way that you're talking to yourself and that you're no longer saying those mean things you were saying. Those are the things they see, and then they follow that lead. But they can see the opposite. They can see you going through the drive-through menu. They can see you plopping down on the couch and binge watching Netflix. They can hear you say mean, terrible things to yourself that you would never allow someone to say to your kids, and they can see that, and that could be taught. So the question is, what do you want to lead with, right? And I think most parents would agree they want to lead with a healthy lifestyle, positive culture in their household. What really switched for me, because I'm business Nate, was when I changed my mindset to I'm going to run my house like I run a business. I don't know why I never put that two and two together. I was like, I got these supplies on auto ship for the gym. Why don't I have our supplies for our house on auto ship? I get on my team about having great culture and being positive. I need to do that with my team, my home team, my family. And so that really clicked for me because that's my language, is business. So when I drew those lines together, I was like, oh, now I get how to be this great, house head of the household. I need to run it like I run a business. Now that was easy for me to understand, and I can get on board with
Oh,
it.
I like the idea of like paying attention to that culture. Like, first I was gonna say, what's normal in your house? Is it normal that you're taking care of yourself and your health and focusing on, the veggies and the nutrients and the workouts? Is that normal? Or like you said, is the other? But then I feel like the word culture, right, is what's the culture at home like? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest word I would want everybody to think, to just like carry this with you everywhere you go, is that you want your culture to be the most encouraging place in somebody's day. That we can be friendly, the person at the coffee shop can say, "Hey, how you doing? Here's your coffee," and like we're friendly, but they didn't compliment you. They didn't say, "I'm proud of you for something." They're not encouraging you. That's what we foster in our gym environments. Is like we want you to come in and just get filled up with encouragement, because everywhere you go, most of the time, people are just telling what you're doing wrong. You go to work and like the boss is like, you forgot this task, this is past deadline, and they're coming down, everything you're doing wrong. Your spouse, you forgot to take out the trash, why are you starting dinner so late? Everything I'm doing wrong. And so we want to have a culture of encouragement. So my goal is to make our fitness environment in our gyms, but also in our house, to be the most encouraging environment possible. And that is where the foster where it leads to positivity and change and growth, and people actually listening to you, the advice you give, because you got to give before you get. So if I give you 5 or 6 complimentary phrases or encouragement, and then I ask for something, what's the likelihood of that? Or I give you 0 encouragement and then I ask you for something, how much more friction will I encounter? So it's not about that's the end game, is that I can't wait to get from you if I give you, a bunch of encouragement, but that's how we can, basically work with people a lot easier. And
Yeah.
so nobody cares what you have to say. They really care how you make them feel, right? So make people feel a certain way, and that's how you can lead them better.
Awesome. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. I feel like that's just a great place to like wrap up for this time here on the show.
Sure.
What Dustin, I'd love for you. I got 2 more questions for you. One's easy and one's a little more difficult. I'll ask the more difficult one first. If someone is listening and they're feeling like I need to do something, like I need to get get going, I need to take some steps forward to improve my health. What would you recommend as the best first step
Yes.
for them to take? What would you
By,
recommend?
by far, the best choice you can make, the best money you can spend, the best decision you can make for your health is to hire a coach. And many people struggle needlessly for years on their own trying to figure out this whole health and fitness thing. And so, like for me, I'll use myself an example. I very firmly dislike doing things for the car. I don't like changing the oil and tires and all this stuff and washing it. I don't want to do any of it. So I can fight this very hard uphill battle, YouTubing it and finding my tools and clunking around with it and making a mess and doing it wrong. Or I can just take it down to the car shop and pay for them to do it. That is a wise investment for me to be happy, for me to not be frustrated, and for me to be able to spend my time on things I enjoy. If you know you need to be healthy and fit and it's not your thing, you don't love it, you don't want to study how to work out, program and design your workouts and what to eat and supplements, just go to somebody that can tell you what to do. And they love it. They are literally like listening to podcasts and they're reading books and they're obsessing on it. And all they're thinking about is how to get you better results. Well, wouldn't you want that in your corner? We all know that movie Rocky. Well, go hire your Mick, right? The person that's in your corner, cheering you on, encouraging you. That is the best money you can spend, is to hire a coach. And I just look at the results. I see people that I know in my life that are struggling to lose weight, and they all have a gym membership. They haven't been for months, and they don't even care. They don't even reach out to them and say, we haven't seen you. They just literally don't care. They want your money, and they don't care if you come in and get results. Coaches and coaching facilities are the complete opposite. 80% of their clients are getting results, and they care, and they're checking in with you. They haven't seen you in a couple of days. Where are you? How's your nutrition going? Lots of check-ins. And it costs more. But I do believe, and this is actually in my book that's coming out here soon. This is more for gym owners, but there's a phrase in there: the more you pay, the more you pay attention. And so, yes, that coach will cost more. Yes, you will be putting forward an investment, but you will pay attention. You'll be the ultimate soldier. You will follow what they have to say to a T, because you're like, I want my money back, right? I want my money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when you go to the gym, you drop $10 or $20, no one's checking in with you. It's not enough to sting. We have to put in enough that it stings, and then you have our full attention, and we do things the right way, right? So that's what I would say by far is the one decision you can make to change your health forever is to hire a coach.
Okay. That wasn't that hard for you. That was the tough
Oh,
question. Man, nice. The other question I want you to answer is this: how can people get in touch with you?
yeah, thank you. It's been great chatting here on the show. I'm most active on Facebook and Instagram. So I would say search my name on there, Dustin Bogle. You'll find me. If you want to check out some other things I'm working on, blog posts, YouTube podcasts, you can go to my website, dustinbogle.com. And then always love some support here. This book is dropping this Friday, so it is a brand new book. And this is called Reinforce Your Gym. So it is filled with a bunch of strategies to grow a gym. For my coaches and my gym owners out there, that's something for you guys as well.
Okay, awesome. Dustin Bogle, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it.
All right. Links to connect with Dustin, to check out his book as well, are in the show notes. And like I said at the outset, if you're a mom, moms, we love you. We all do. We wouldn't be here without you. We wouldn't have so much of the goodness in our life without you. And a lot of that is that you've delivered to us and you've been able to do is because of the influence that you have on the rest of us, on the rest on your family and on the rest of the world. Because you're a mom, you have so much influence, and that is such a beautiful thing. Let's look at it as a very positive thing. I hope I don't want this episode to add more pressure to you, because I know this whole process of fitness and improving health, that it's a very pressure filled process for so many, and I don't want to add more pressure to you if you are a mom, but rather what I want to do is for this to be a nice source of inspiration for you to think about the influence that you're having, and of course not just moms but parents in general, right? The influence that you can have on the people in your home. It's truly a beautiful thing, very beautiful thing, because this process of improving health, it's contagious. And if you're experiencing something good, you naturally want to share it with the people that you love. And that's an awesome thing. So stay in the process. And when you find that you're on the right track and you're experiencing those good things, don't hold back. Don't think that your family won't get on board, but rather bring them on board with you the way that you would if you were enjoying anything else that was really benefiting you. You would want them to be involved. You'd want them to feel what you feel. So I hope that this episode is a source of inspiration for all of us to think about the type of environment that we're contributing to in our home, right? If you're a member of a family in any way, well, then you have an influence over the environment. You have an influence over the energy that's going on in your household. And the steps that you take to improve your own personal health, they are going to affect the people around you. If nothing else, they're going to know that when they're ready, they're going to have someone who's going to support them in their journey toward better health. So give some attention to that. Give some attention to the ways that you can support the people that you care about most by setting a good example, by the choices that you make. And if you're enjoying the process, if you're enjoying improving your health and wellness, and I know you are because you're here listening to the Begin Within Health show, if you're enjoying it, then, and I have done this so much, I've encouraged you to share it with someone, share your journey with someone, invite someone along with you. Well, look inside your own family, look inside your own household. Is there someone that you can share some of that goodness with, the good things that you're feeling? Can you share that with them? Tell them what you've been experiencing and some of the little ways that now you know how to have some control over that process, and invite them along with you for a healthy meal, for a walk outside, for a workout, or for just an opportunity to sit down and talk and really listen to one another. Just take one healthy step forward with someone that you care about in your household this week. I'm so thankful that Dustin Bogle was here on the show. Like I mentioned, links to connect with him are in the show notes. And let me just take a moment to thank you so much for being the type of person who is concerned with becoming a better version of yourself. Ultimately, that's why we're here. We're all trying to be in that process. And I want to thank you. I want to give you a high five for doing that. And I would love for you to take a screenshot of yourself listening to the episode, post it to your stories, tag me so that I can give you a high five. And as well, if you haven't done so already, please rate and review the show in your podcast player so that others can find it as well. And join us here to become part of this community of people who are working hard to become better versions of themselves, healthier versions of themselves. Thanks again for being here with me, and I will talk to you again soon here on the Begin Within Health Show.